Okay, welcome to Profit Pro Plus. In this training module, we're going to talk about your setup of your new program and how the system population concept works in your program. There are 3 different ways to import data into your program, and there are 3 different types of data that you'll have to put in. The first form of data that we recommend you setting up in your system, as it takes the longest, is your vendor distributor data, which can include your order guides, your price lists, and your invoices. So the process is actually pretty simple. The 3 different ways that you can load the program are our patented auto-loader system, which does all of the work for you, or you can use the manual loader, which we'll cover in just a little bit. And the last option, which we'll cover last, is the line item loader, which you do manually, 1 item at a time. So as this is the best way, that's what we're going to cover first. After you purchased Profit Pro Plus, you will receive 2 emails. The first email is going to be your welcome email that gives you your login and temporary password so that you can access the program. The second email is going to be a custom email sent to you with loader instructions for your vendors. This is part of our auto-loader system. Let's take a look at that email. The email basically walks you through the auto-loader instructions. We want to get you set up, so attached are your auto-loader instructions for you to send to your vendor and distributor. These auto-loaders are done through a process called EDI, or Electronic Data Interchange, and your vendors know how to set this up. They actually do it quite frequently. The reality is if your vendor has a computer, they have the ability to do EDI, or Electronic Data Interchange exchanges. In the email, you'll notice down at the bottom portion, you have a Dear Vendor script. We ask you to copy and paste that or to reword something relative to that same content and send it over to your vendor along with the attached PDF that gives them their Profit Pro Plus vendor EDI instructions. So we'll take a look at those instructions really quick just to walk you through what we're asking and why. The first of the 3 elements in the instructions to the vendor are the email instructions. When you purchase the program, you will be set up with your own unique email in the ProfitProPlus.net system. We use this email for data only, and that data is used to populate your program. When you're copied on it and we're copied on it, our patented technology will identify those 2 unique email threads, open up the email, and automatically import the data in the format that we request. And the vendors are very, very familiar with how to manage this concept. 2 different forms that we're going to be asking for. One is the invoice data, and the other one is your weekly pricing data. We ask that all vendors send the weekly pricing data every Sunday so we can look at the next week's pricing that's coming into your system. And also, we ask that they send the invoices per occurrence. So every time you have an invoice, when the invoice is generated, it automatically populates in the system, thus keeping your product current with pricing and up to date. If you haven't purchased an item in an invoice cycle in any particular amount of time, the system will default back to the price list or the last purchase price. That way your inventory pricing is always going to be accurate, and so too are your food costs. In the next email, these are the specific instructions for the weekly pricing that we ask for from the vendor, and it gives simple things like the file layout, the column definitions, and even an example to the vendor in the way that we would like the data formatted in particular. And the last piece is the EDI invoicing instructions. Goes through pretty much the exact same thing, asking for the file layout, the column definitions, and another example of formatting for the request. These 2 file types are specifically different, so they do go to 2 different email addresses. And while this is likely more information than you want to know, it's just a little familiarity to make you comfortable with the process and the program.